Good morning, welcome to Cactus sailing. So today we are going to be sailing to Portsmouth or Gosport, and or we might stop at Cowes along the way, we don't know yet, but those are our options. We've got the tide going with us, so we're going to be sailing east through the Solent, so join with us along that adventure.
Why not consider being one of our patrons? The link is in the description, and don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
So today we want to be leaving from Yarmouth over to Portsmouth, and again if you want to play the game with us then we'll give you a bit of information that today is the 3rd of August, and if you don't then just skip to the number I'm going to tell you down there to start our adventure straight away. So today is obviously the 3rd of August, I've just said, and we want to be leaving Yarmouth over to Portsmouth. I mean there's going to be 2 correct answers for this I guess, but I want to be leaving roughly early-ish so we can get there in a decent time rather than wait until the afternoon. So we just need to work out what tide we can get without getting up at crack of dawn, I suppose. So 3rd of August, if we're looking at 3rd of August, we have a high water of 10:56, so let's call that 11 o'clock. And again, we've got our standard time, so we need to add an hour to that. Now this tidal atlas is not particularly that great at showing you exactly what's going to be happening in the Solent. So I'm going to just show you a little app I use up in the corner there. So basically, what we want to be doing is the tide is going to be turning eastbound around 4:40. So I mean we don't want to be getting up at 4:40, not again, because we did that yesterday. So we want to be getting up, or we want to be leaving roughly around 6 o'clock, I think we've decided on, and that gives us up until roughly around 10-11 o'clock to have favourable water all the way up to Portsmouth. So that's basically what we've decided. In terms of hazards along the way, if we look back to our chart, there's not really a great deal, to be honest, in the Solent, other than lots of ships that are around. There is the Bramble Bank, the famous Bramble Bank, where they have a cricket match every year at spring tide. But other than that, there's plenty of water in the Solent, so there's not really much to worry about, because we're not going to be going near any of these shallows anyway, because we want the tide with us, so we're going to stick pretty much in the middle. Because we want that tide with us rather than hiding near the edges where you can sometimes get some back eddies down the Solent. So that's what we're going to be doing now.
The forecast today was going to be a reasonable 20 knots of wind, hopefully from the northwest we was hoping, because we didn't want to be beaten into it. But it turned out the wind was actually coming from the northeast, and it was a nice good 20 knots, gusting into the 25s, which means we set off with a first reef in the main and a little bit of reef in the Genoa.
We're sailing along, we're doing like 8 knots. This is unheard of outside of the Solent. We've got a flat, nice Solent, we've got a decent 15 to 20 knots of wind, and first reef in the main. I find if I put a first reef in around 15 to 20, boat just sails a lot better. I mean you can get your rails in the water and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people kind of want to do that stuff, but you don't tend to sail faster in a straight line, so we tend to stick a reef in the main, a bit of reef in the Genoa, and she sails quite nicely. Yeah, we're doing 8 knots, but we have got a bit of tide with us, but still 8 knots on a 30-foot boat is pretty fast, to be honest. So I'm happy with that. And we're not even, trimming our sails for a race perspective, we're just cruiser trimming them sort of thing. So we're not trimming them for the gusts or anything like that. But yeah, we're just stomping up the Solent. I forgot how flat the Solent was. It's just so calm, isn't it?
Nice. I don't think we've ever done 8 knots in this boat. Well, not for a long time.
Not for a long time, no. Normally the waves keep stopping us every time we're going down the through the water and everything. It's normally quite choppy if it's this windy, so we're always slamming against the wave. So yeah, we don't normally get above 6.5, 7, even if we've got tide with us. So
this is good sailing.
It's good sailing.
you might notice that rope cord up there hanging down. That's the Genoa halyard, and it's usually tied to a little tidy on the mast. But I've been meaning to put a cleat on there to tidy it up better because it keeps falling off, as you can see here. So that's a job I've got planned for later.
We've been doing like 9 knots through the water, which is just unheard of. Sorry, not through the water, across the ground. So we've been doing about 7.5 through the water, which is pretty much our maximum haul speed. Yeah, it's flying along. Can't believe how quick she's going. But yeah, it's been a right good sail this morning. I mean, we are beating into it a bit, but you can see there I'm just getting a bit of weather helm on because she is going at maximum haul speed. She can't go any faster. But it's great. Loving it.
On focus.
As we headed further up the east of the Solent, the wind started to die down a little bit, so it's about time we shut that reef out. Just going to take the reef out, so we're just going to line the boom into the wind, and then we're going to pull the sail up.
Take the reef out, please. Hey.
winds have died down a lot in the eastern Solent. We've only got about 6 or 7 knots of wind now, so just enjoying the sun on this tack. And so yeah, we're just passing Stokes Bay, and we're just going to go around the headland of Stokes Bay. It's not really a headland, but and then we'll go into Portsmouth. And we're going to stay there tonight, I think, in Portsmouth, because we're going to run out of tide to get out of the Solent, so we can't really go to Brighton or anything like that. And there's not really a great deal of wind anyway to get us to Brighton, so although the wind is coming from the northeast, it was meant to be coming from the west or northwest. So it's different to forecast. I'm struggling with windy this week, and even predict wind. Don't seem to be doing what's forecast, but yeah, we had a nice decent sail up the West Solent, but East Solent is completely different. But we'll get there anyway. We're only doing about 4 knots across the ground, if that. Probably knot and a half is tide, the rest is probably sailing, but yeah, we'll be there soon, hopefully.
Hello.
It's Kevin.
We are just coming up to Portsmouth, and I'm trying to direct the boat that way into the small boat channel. I think that's what you called it.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. And we're going to be stopping in Haslar or Gosport for the night, maybe 2 nights, who knows. But most importantly, we're going to Casa Brazil! For those of you who don't know what Casa Brazil is, it's a restaurant that sells semi-traditional Brazilian delicacies. Oh my god, it's amazing! You need to go there and try it. Everyone does. Oh, you can taste it already.
Distinct lack of wind.
Going so slow we might be reversing. We're doing 0.5 knots, 0.7 knots across the ground.
So we've arrived at Haslar, and we've been googling for Casa Brazil. Casa Brazil, is it?
Casa Brazil?
Casa Brazil.
Casa Brazil.
Casa Brazil. And we found one in Portsmouth, so that's where we're going to head later today, I think.
Yeah, who needs Brighton?
Yeah, who needs Brighton? So we found one in Portsmouth instead that we're going to go to instead. And yeah, so we're just in Haslar now, and it's about lunchtime, so we're going to have some lunch, and then we're going to have a wander around, and then go and see if we can find this Casa Brazil.
Tasty.
lights on the mast because I'm sick of all this flapping around. So that's the plan. Just out of camera shot there, I put an umbrella upside down to catch all the swirl. And then just out of interest, I was using mono rivets here because I read that these were the best ones for the mast, and I'd also put a bit of Duralac paste on them to stop any dissimilar metals or any corrosion happening there when I've got the cleats on. The cleats were aluminium, so I'm quite happy with those ones. Thank you for watching our video. If you've got any comments, then please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.